Good afternoon, everybody. It's Jurgs. It is time for Up the Middle. Welcome. Coming back, circling back today on something we've talked about before, and that is the Biden versus Kushner fight, or whatever we want to call it. I mean, I don't even really know what it is. I don't think these two you really want anything to do with it. I think they're kind of dragged into it because of who their dads and dads-in-law are. And as a result, here they are. So first, I want to welcome you and remind you anywhere you want to be at Talk TV 24. That's one of the YouTube channels and some of the social media that we're on. Also, our new very own YouTube channel, Up the Middle, as well as Talk TV 24. We're actually on both of them right now, I think. Let me look. Yeah. We got a problem with one of the Facebook ones, though. Having trouble streaming to Facebook today. Let's see if we can fix it quick before going back. There's nothing. Yeah, according to one of Up the Middle, one of the, I guess it's an event, or maybe it's to my Facebook page for Up the Middle. Let's see. Muted. Yeah, and that looks like it's the actual page. So if you're trying to join us on Facebook, my personal account, Ross Yerger, seems to be maybe. Oh, that's not seeming to be working either. So Facebook seemed to be shit the bed today. That sucks. That's disappointing because we're getting a lot of people there. So YouTube operational. Sorry, it's allergy season. I mean, it's kind of allergy season for me all the time, but let's see if we're live on YouTube. Let's view it there real quick. Yeah, and I'm hearing it, so let's mute that. But yeah, so YouTube looks good. You can join us there, Up the Middle, or Talk TV 24. Talk the word TV, the number 24. You can view on YouTube. Yep, and that's that's going to okay. You still get us. I don't know what the deal with Facebook is. Sorry about that if that's where you're trying to join from, but yeah, that sucks. So anywhere you want to be or want to try to be at Talk TV 24 or at Up the Middle. We are now also podcasting. I got the list is in the other room. We can put this up. This is about half of them. Up there in the corner is Spotify. That's where I send everything to. Spotify sends it out to me or for me to everybody else. iHeartRadio is one of them. Apple, Buzzsprout, Google, Amazon, Public Radio, Castbox. I don't know if we've heard of that, but that's where we're going. And stuff that I'm learning. There's another one. Stitcher. And that one Stitcher sends it to two more, which is Pandora and Sirius XM. There we go. There's all of them, or at least most of them. So, at any rate, immediately after this, I will take the video and audio, edit out all the stupid sounding uhs and ums and moments where we check in on Facebook to see if that's what's going on there. Uh, yeah, that is the kind of bother because it's the up the middle page that it's not broadcasting to, and it seems as though it's actually not broadcasting to Facebook at all. So that kind of sucks. Anyway, you can get the much more professional sounding edited version later, and we look forward to showing that with you or sharing that with you. Next up, we're going to do a test today, a test of just what kind of quality writing you get by using artificial intelligence. We know that's like the new thing and is coming up and is really going to be kind of sort of. I mean, I wrote a lot of this in 10 minutes, and yeah, is that scary? Well, yeah, because there's a lot of people that are employed to do that much more accurately than what this did, and we'll comment on that as we go. But there's still some pretty decent information and is at minimum a start. And that's all we were saying with the last time we talked about Kushner versus Biden or Biden versus Kushner. That's all it was going to be was a start. Um, so the source for this information is my account on Chat GPT. What does that mean? That means that it searches the internet and it gives you what it finds. It doesn't say where that information comes from. We'll take care of that later. So this is a beginning. We'll prove or disprove claims made by the AI on a later episode of Up the Middle during our ongoing quote unquote investigation. So today is not the day that we form opinions on either of these two gentlemen. Now, my question is if what is alleged against Hunter Biden is such a severity and inappropriate level of behavior from his business dealings, why isn't Jared Kushner being met with the same scrutiny? He's not only done things in conjunction with his father-in-law, but while actually being employed by said father-in-law. And that's actually one of the things we're going to talk about is whether or not he should have been employed in the first place. But at least on some level, Hunter Biden was never employed by Vice President Joe Biden. He may have traveled with him. Okay, maybe that's not cool, but he was still always working for himself. So the simple answer as to why Hunter is not. I just got to check one thing. I have this habit of mute. Check one, two. I closed. That was bad. I closed my soundboard, and it once you close that off, it shuts out all your sound. So that sucks. So why is Hunter Biden not getting the same, or why is Jared Kushner not getting the same amount of scrutiny that Hunter is? Simple answer, and I think it's a rather accurate one: a partisan Republican House versus a busy and occupied with actual work Democratic Senate. House is Republican led. We're going to talk about one of the things they did to a California congressman after it was all said and done, and he was actually patted on the back. But these cases may or may not be really different. They may be the same. Let's take a look. But here's the disclaimer for both. It's important to note that allegations are claims that are being made but may not have been proven true or false in a court of law or the Congress. This is a search from ChatGPT, not trained investigators. Next are some of the notable allegations by ChatGPT for each. Commentary and immediate reaction is mine and not that of ChatGPT. So, with regards to Hunter Biden, first allegation that we came up with was Burisma Holdings. Hunter Biden served on the board of Burisma Holdings, a Ukrainian energy company, from 2014 to 2019. The allegation revolves around the assertion that Hunter's position on the board was due to his father's political influence as the vice president of the United States at the time. There have been claims of political conflicts of interest and corruption in retaliation and relationships to these appointments. However, no concrete evidence of wrongdoing by Hunter Biden has been substantiated. Number two, Ukrainian and Chinese business deals. So keep in mind, at first, I guess one of the questions that had to be asked and wasn't, what does Hunter Biden do for a living? He's a business attorney, an international business attorney. Continuing. Ukrainian and Chinese deals. There have been allegations that Hunter Biden engaged in business dealings in Ukraine and China that may have been involved potential conflicts of interest or influenced by his father's political position. These claims suggest that Hunter Biden's business ventures overseas leveraged his family's name for personal gain. Because the Trumps haven't done that. However, no conclusive evidence of illegal activities or direct involvement by Joe Biden has been verified. And number three, laptop controversy. Woo! In 2020, a laptop reportedly belonging to Hunter Biden was brought into the public spotlight. The laptop's contents, including emails and other personal data, were alleged to contain damaging information about Hunter and potential connections to foreign entities. Again, he worked overseas. These allegations were heavily publicized during the 2020 U.S. presidential election. However, the origin and authenticity of the laptop, as well as the veracity of the allegations, have been subject to debate and scrutiny. In other words, politically oriented. Switching over to Jared Kushner. Again, both of these, by the way, are because of the capabilities of ChatGPT and that it's cutting out recent stuff intentionally. These are all before September of 2021. So anything that may have been done after that, such as receiving $2 billion from the Saudis, will not be included in this three-part report. Or three claims to each side is what this came up with. Security clearance for Jared Kushner. Security clearance. There were allegations that Jared Kushner received and maintained his security clearance despite concerns raised by intelligence officials. It was reported that career officials had reservations about granting him access to classified information due to potential conflicts of interest and foreign influence concerns, like receiving $2 billion from the Saudis. However, the exact details and extent of any impropriety or undue influence in relation to Kushner's security clearance remain subject to debate. It's a security clearance. They're not going to talk about stuff like that publicly. I remember that. It was, right when the administration got started. And it was, I'm not going to say anything either because I don't know what is and what isn't common knowledge and stuff that's, out in the public. So I remember that there was a question whether or not he was even going to have a job. That it was going to be possibly that he was not going to be a part of the administration. There were, as this item said, people within the intelligence community that wanted that to be the case. That he needed to stay away, and as we all know, that was not the case. Father-in-law stepped in because the guy who sees him around the White House a little bit but doesn't really know who he is father-in-law. Okay. Number two, business conflicts of interest, as already mentioned in number one. Jared Kushner had a prominent role. Oh, camera's back. Okay. Business conflicts of interest. Jared Kushner had a prominent role in his family's real estate business, Kushner Companies, prior to joining the Trump administration. There have been allegations that his role in the administration presented potential conflicts of interest due to ongoing business ties. However, it's worth noting that Kushner divested from some of his assets and stepped down as CEO of Kushner Companies to comply with ethics regulations. Middle East diplomacy. Here's the one that I got the problem with, and it again because of time and dates, it only has so much. Middle East diplomacy. Kushner was tasked with leading the administration's efforts to broker peace with the Israelis and Palestinians during the conflict. Some critics raised concern about potential conflicts of interest, given his close ties to Israeli officials and his family's business dealings in the region. However, the effectiveness and impact of his diplomatic efforts are a matter of ongoing debate and interpretation. Did he stop anything? No, nobody did for thousands of years. But he did get $2 billion from the Saudis. That's cool. While he was working for his father-in-law. But it's Hunter's laptop that's the question. So, yeah, in conclusion, lots of questions. I feel some of this may have been answered. You saw that some of what Hunter Biden is answering for now was addressed during the 2020 presidential campaign. Similarly, the current Republican House, under Speaker McCarthy, is scrutinizing a temporary relationship between a recent current California Democratic congressman who, back during the Boehner speakership, was found to have a Chinese American volunteer in his campaign. Once discovered, he turned this information over to the FBI immediately and assisted as wherever necessary with the FBI's investigation. Republican Speaker John Boehner congratulated him on his efforts and the conclusion of the investigation. Republican Speaker Paul Ryan reinstated him to the Intelligence Committee. And now this is coming up under McCarthy. So that is today's comparison. Let us know in the comments what you think. Let us know in, let's see, speaking of which, let us know in the comments wherever it is. I'm sorry about whatever's happening on Facebook right now. I guess this is a busy time for them and they can't keep up, whatever. Upcoming topics. I was critical of Dan Bongino when he was fired from Fox. Even more so now. Here's a guy who is proven to have lied, even though we at the Secret Service, as he claims to be a former member of, are worthy of trust and confidence. Yet he still tweets bullshit that Biden is the worst president ever. I mean, Biden's not my first choice. I'm not going to lie about that. Biden's not my first choice. But it's nice to have an actual president after what Trump put us through. And, obviously that's not a popular opinion in some circles, but I think it's a realistic one. When you're up the middle, when you're coming from both the right and the left, and as an actual, unlike Bongino, as an actual intelligence professional, I'm an independent. I'm not a Democrat. And I voted for Trump twice. I voted for W twice. Never voted for Trump, never will. But I'm not a Democrat, so don't go thinking that because I'm critical right now, like I said in my most recent video about Republican double talking, I'm just a little heavier on the Republicans right now because they're keeping me busy. It's like I got a late night talk show and I'm doing my monologue. It's going to be all about Republicans right now because that's who's stepping on their dick. So Bongino says stupid shit like Joe Biden's the worst president in U.S. history. Were you asleep from 2017 to 2021? Your ratings show it. Have you seen his YouTube pages? There's more people watching right now. So is now that he's on his own thing, wherever it is, I guess it's on just podcasting. Is he still worth watching? Was he ever? Also, our criminal updates coming up. Trump and Santos again. Republicans. Thank God we got something to talk about. And is there going to be another big field? Romney, Christie, Cheney are all names in the Republican Party being heard, possibly looking to throw their hat in. Join us this Friday as we take a look at the effects of the debt ceiling vote and Bitcoin, as well as the dollar's new place in the world market after the debt ceiling. That will be Friday afternoon, 5:30. Wherever you see the Doggy Traders, hopefully we'll be back on Facebook and they get that all unfucked. Until then, have a good Wednesday. We're over the hill. Another weekend. It won't be a holiday weekend, but another weekend right around the corner. So, keep talking. Jump on the jet ski. Follow us right up the middle. We'll see you next week.